making their way here from St. Paul, Minnesota. And they are underway here in this women's club Varsity 4 grand final. Again, Carnegie Mellon, Colorado, Lafayette, William & Mary, Pitt, and St. Thomas in this one. Results from the time trial yesterday. Lafayette had the fastest time at 7:47. They were out in front by 10 seconds over the William & Mary boat. Colorado third, Pitt was fourth, Carnegie Mellon was fifth, and St. Thomas was in sixth. So early on here, we are seeing the boat from Lafayette begin to make their way into first. Looks like second at the moment through the first 250 of this one belongs to lane 2, Colorado. But right there with the buffs is Carnegie Mellon and William & Mary. So Lafayette beginning to pull away into first. The race for second between Carnegie Mellon, Colorado, and William & Mary is a tough one. Meanwhile, Pitt and St. Thomas are dueling it in the lanes 5 and 6 for those same places. As we take a look at the medal dock there, we see the women's lightweight Varsity 4 of MIT lifting the Robert Espethes Trophy. Nice shot here of our lead boat from Lafayette, as we can see William & Mary beginning to move into sole possession of second place, trying to fend off the Colorado boat out of lane 2. But a nice shot here of our lead crew as they hit the 500-meter mark. 1,500 meters left to go. William & Mary, the second one's there. Colorado in third. Carnegie Mellon now drifting back a little bit into fourth. Let's see if they can continue to hold off the outside lanes of Pitt and St. Thomas.
Yeah, this is actually a great race shaping up here between St. Thomas and Pitt, too. And University of St. Thomas is really rebuilding their program right now. They have a new coaching staff very recently. Braden LeLoop, Nathan Hollandshell, and Garth Zog. So they are rebuilding the program right now, consisting mostly of freshmen and sophomores, really across the board. So this is a great race. Again, fun fact about their team, they're a team of birders. They love birding, and they all follow a live stream bird feeder that they all watch together and they built as a team. So we love getting these fun facts about how interesting all of the athletes are in these crews. And St. Thomas, again, doing a great job hanging in there with Pitt on the outside. So we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, as you said, it is Lafayette again. Remember, they're going for those team trophies in the small boats. So we are going to keep an eye on Lafayette as we move throughout the day here and watch those small boats and those points adding up for Lafayette. Doing a great job here. Followed very closely, as we said, by William & Mary.
Yeah, William & Mary looking good now and taking control of the second place spot, moving into form from the time trial from yesterday. Colorado actually only finished 4 seconds out in front of the crew from Pitt, so really improving, it appears so far, for the Colorado boat in terms of their time based on the time trial. You can see the 1,000-meter mark there over on the south side of the Cooper River Park. And it looks like our lead boat from Lafayette is just about hitting that halfway line. And there you can see second place William & Mary making their way through the halfway point. Nice overhead shot here of our lead boat from Lafayette.
Yeah, actually, we're looking at some really beautiful rowing here from Lafayette. Look how precise this is, but how patient it is. So, again, as we said, in an 8 or so, you get about 10 meters per stroke. It's not too different from a 4, maybe a little bit less, because you do have a little bit of extra weight with the coxswain. The boats are a little bit lighter, but you still have to carry a coxswain in the bow. And we're seeing some very precise blade work here. So, again, really beautiful rowing from Lafayette, our current leader by many boat lengths in lane 3. I don't quite want to call it a horizon yet, but it's getting there.
Yeah, you know, you say the boats are lighter, but I always felt in a 4 that the output per rower was much heavier than in an 8. I don't know if that necessarily translates mathematically, you know, the same weight, 4 to 8, based on the weight of the boats, but I always thought that the 4s were just so much heavier to get up the race course than an 8, especially when an 8 was moving.
They are. That's true. That is true. If we're comparing to an 8, that's right. But from previous years, you would see a lot of stern coxed 4s as well. So the 4s have actually gotten much lighter over the years. So yes, you are correct. They feel heavy when there's just 4 and a coxswain in that bow like that. But the shells themselves have gotten much lighter, even though the output, you are absolutely right about that.
Yeah, there's nothing like rowing a 4. Megan and I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but it can be a really rewarding experience, and it can also be very, very difficult at times.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And then we look back to William and Mary in lane 4. Again, also having a really great row. We're starting to see a little bit of ripple on the water. Again, wind is nothing new to any of these crews. Many of these crews row on bodies of water with incredible wind and weather. Many of these crews actually had very difficult and severe winters as well, so have actually not had that much time on the water. So some of these other crews that are in Florida or outside of kind of the Northeast area have maybe had a little bit of advantage being on the water a little bit longer. But it doesn't seem to be showing here for any of these crews because we're seeing some really beautiful rowing.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a snowier winter for sure. Cold lasted a long time up here in the Northeast. We're really just starting to feel the effects of spring over the last few weeks and starting to warm up here in the Philadelphia area. So, it's been a cold, brutal winter. The first winter like this in a long time, I think a lot of folks would say. As Lafayette putting the finishing touches here on this one, hitting the 250-meter mark. 1750 down, 250 left to go now for the Leopards. And just a really impressive race here in this club Varsity 4. William and Mary there, you can see them with the yellow and green blades. We believe that they are maintaining that second place position. We haven't seen them in about 800 meters or so, but they were looking pretty solid from what we could tell, and they were the second boat in our picture. Colorado was in third. We'll see if Pitt could make some inroads on that Colorado boat as they make their way to the finish line.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Joe. I'm sorry. I took the words right out of your mouth there. Lafayette here about to cross the line in first. We have multiple Head of the Charles medals in this boat, so a lot of experience out of this 4. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 4 of the 5 have won medals at the Charles more than once. So as they cross the line first here, an excellent and beautiful row from the women of Lafayette. Very experienced, who have rowed this event many times before and together.
Yeah, ho-hum in that boat, almost as if they expected to win.
Just a Saturday row out for Lafayette. Again, just another notch on the belt for Lafayette here in the points trophy.
There is William and Mary crossing second for the silver, and we'll see if Colorado maintained that third place finish. And it is the Buffs crossing the line in third. Just out in front of a close finish here between the two Pittsburgh schools. I think the edge there was to Carnegie Mellon in lane 1 over the Panthers of Pitt. But we'll see if we can get results there.